Good morning, guys. It is, oh, totally forgot. What is today? It is Wednesday, May 13th, and I believe this is show um, 10 or 11. I can't remember at this point. But let's see. What day are we on? Wow, what a bang. Way to start this off. I believe, yeah, it's day 10, isn't it? Let me see. Day 11, day 10, day 11. Today is day 11, guys. And here on Flippin Live, we started 11 days ago, every single morning, 7 a.m. A little late this morning, but some technical difficulties, but we're going to go now and get started. I want to talk a little bit about the book donations I got. I wanted to share with you what I was doing yesterday in the warehouse and answer any Q&As. So that we can get set. Yeah, day 11. Good morning, Brian. Let's see here. So let's get started with Flippin Live.
Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live. We're gonna strive, we're here to learn and gonna earn. Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, we're flippin' live.
All right, guys. Good morning. Another beautiful day here in Southern California. Actually, yesterday was a little cold. Today's supposed to be a little cold as well. It was cloudy. Looked like it was going to rain, but it ended up not raining. So depends on how you look at it, good or bad. But it definitely was a little colder than normal. That's for sure. Brian says that episode yesterday was entertaining. Yesterday was entertaining looking some of the unusual horror movies. Also, I didn't realize that small lots of pre-recorded tapes could be valuable. That's good to know. Yeah, totally strange. That was really weird to me when I came across a bunch of VHS tapes. I had purchased. I purchased Gaylords from a different source closer to where I live. I had found them online and on Craigslist, or I can't remember exactly where it was, but anyway, it was a few years back, and I tried them out, and they had sort of what you would call raw Gaylords, where all media is mixed in. They didn't pre-sort it. I mean, when they got it, they didn't go through it and put the good stuff, together and get rid of the old media like VHS tapes, 8 tracks, that type of stuff. So I found all of those. They had a lot. I found all the old technology, such as VHS tapes, such as audio cassette tapes, and 8 tracks. And there was a lot of the pre-recorded VHS tapes, a lot of VHS tapes in general. And I tried out selling lots of more well-known titles, doing it by genre VHS tape titles, and that didn't work. But I found out that the pre-recorded tapes, used blanks sold as new. No, I can't remember what it was, but used blanks, I believe. And I was surprised to find that you can actually make a little bit of money off those, depending on what's on them. Of course, you're not going to make a bunch of money, but at least if you get in possession of them, you can make a little bit of money off of them. And it helps to know what's actually on there, if it's written on there, and you can decipher it, because sometimes the writing is pretty awful and it's hard to decipher exactly what somebody wrote on there. But if it's some random, football games from 1992 from USC, or whatever it may be, you can put them together and list them in that way. So you're probably not going to find stuff like that at like a thrift store, but you never know if you come across them. If you can get them for free or super cheap with a bunch of other stuff that you bought in bulk, at least you can try to make some money off of those. And if you find sealed VHS tapes, those, depending on what they are or how many you have, those can go for more money. it's always surprising me to find out what goes for good money. Let's see. Oh, blank, right? I want to say blank. I want to look it up here. Whoa. Don't know what I just did with the computer. Okay, hold on. New blank. I'm going to show the screen. Here is so here's new blank. So we have, let me move this. Sorry guys, I'm moving my screens around here so I can see. So here's blank VHS tapes, and you can put them together as lots. As you can see, it varies, I guess, on what type of tape it is. I mean, well, this was bid though, but if you wait around, you can get some more money for them. 10 sealed tapes. Look at that, 30 bucks, 30 bucks. This is 8 bucks. 16.49. Here's a bunch of them. 16 blank tapes plus shipping, of course, 21.50. So yeah, the blank tapes, if you come across them sealed, it's actually, it's funny to think there's still sealed VHS tapes out there, but as you can tell, there's a lot. This one for 55 bucks. I guess it just depends on the type. Um, yeah, so anyway, so that's something to consider if you find, um, one second, if you find a bunch of sealed tapes that you can sell those on on eBay. Another thing that I've seen people do is if they that sell VHS tapes, they will put a couple of brand new, I'm sorry, VCRs, not VHS tapes. People that put in sell VCRs, electronics, will put in a couple of blank VHS tapes, sealed VHS tapes, new ones, as an incentive for somebody to buy their VCR. So that's another way that you can bundle those together and try to make more money off of them. Yeah, so that was fun. VHS tapes are cool. I look forward to things opening up again, and you know, seeing what's out there. Next time I go to a thrift store, I'll look for VHS tapes, see if I find anything, let you guys know. But now that some of you guys learned a little bit more about that, it might be able to help you while sourcing to get different types of media, because you'd be surprised at what different types of media will actually sell. The other one is, which I don't have any currently any don't have any in my possession, are 8-track tapes. Now 8-track tapes, I never used I never saw anyone using 8-track tapes as a kid. It was always records, or in the 80s, cassette tapes. I owned a lot of cassette tapes. I still own, well, not a lot, but a good amount, a few dozen. I still own them actually. So I don't have a ton of them, but audio cassette tapes as well. But yeah, 8-track tapes actually will sell. It's crazy. I found a bunch of them in a Gaylord, and I was able to sell them in different types of lots. If you look on here, let's just do a quick little 8-track tapes. 8-track tapes. Okay. These are individual ones, but here, I'll show you. I mean, you can look as well. So Jefferson Airplane, Disco Rocket 8-track tapes, $18. Look at this one, Tavares, the best of Tavares. It's actually sealed, which is crazy. This is, I don't know what this one is, Melanie. That's a player. Here, let me look up lots. So here's where it can get better. Depends on what they are. But look at how many. 2,566 results. These are actually sold results for 8-track tapes. And these are selling, I mean, these are May 13th, already sold something today. So $14.50, $99, $13.99. Look at this, $24.95. These are more classic stuff. So it's got the Eagles, Bee Gees, Nilsson, Linda Ronstadt. Look at this one, 55 rock, pop, classic, country, 40 bucks. So looks like the more you put together, the better. If you can do it by genre, that's good. All the classic rock stuff. I don't know. I mean, I guess people are listening to this stuff, but I would imagine a lot of this is just collectors. I mean, how many people um, actually own a an 8-track tape player? But either all these people own them or they're just collecting them. I don't know. But anyway, it's interesting to see. So yesterday I spent, well, I didn't. I spent most of yesterday at home here because we had the kids, um, homeschooling them and whatnot, and I listed some stuff on eBay, and I also had a lot of stuff to package, to go and ship, and so I didn't spend too much time in the warehouse, but I went there twice, once to pick up some stuff, another time after I went to the post office. I spent like an hour, hour and a half there, but I'm almost done, but I'm close to being done with organizing all my DVDs in the warehouse space. So I just wanted to share with you what that looks like. I made a little video here, so check it out. Good morning, guys. I spent most of today, well, when you're watching this, it will be yesterday, Tuesday, at home. But when I was here, I was actually continuing to organize all the DVDs. So this is what it looks like now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 bookshelves, the bigger ones that I bought. That one I already had, I got for free in the middle. That little one fits perfectly. Put all the horror movies there and some anime. Anyway, I've been organizing all of this. I'm almost done. I have a little space here in the middle, figuring out what to put there. And then this whole shelf is going to be TV box sets. So I have more TV box sets over here, a lot more. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is putting a table here. I'm going to move this table, swing it a bit this way, and then put another table here and put however many boxes I can fit on there to put most of the rest of the TV box sets out there. I'll probably be left with some afterwards. But anyway, this is what I've been doing lately, and today I spent a little bit of time organizing that. So I'm super excited to have this getting put together so that when I do have people over, customers over, that I can point them to this DVD wall, movie wall basically, and they can look through everything. It's organized alphabetical by genre, and also I'll be able to, it'd be easier for me to be able to see whether I have something or not if they ask about it. So yeah, pretty awesome. And thanks for watching Flippin' Live. Let's get back to the show. So at any rate, that's what I spent yesterday doing. Well, a little bit of yesterday, and I'll spend a little bit more time today, as I'll be in the warehouse most of the day today. If you guys, I wanted to have a local sale for a long time, been talking about it, thinking about it. When I finally got the warehouse space, I slowly started to put it together, piece together the puzzles of how I was going to physically organize it, and where I was going to put things, and how people were going to be able to, make sure there's enough space for people to go through stuff, while also putting out as much as I could. And my first iteration was a little bit scattered, and so finally I'm able to organize things a little better, and me being able to put all the DVDs together will then enable me to put out more items, because I'm freeing up a lot of table space. So I'll be able to put out more CDs, and anything else that I can put out there, and also be able to put out more books, which is good because I really want to attract book buyers, because they'll spend a lot of money, especially considering my books are most of them are $2 or $3, and so I want to attract more book buyers for sure to come to the sale once things open up. I'll probably advertise on what is it called, the used book site that I know all of us use when we're looking for book sales, booksales.com or something like that. Anyway, I've advertised on there once before and had some people show up, so definitely want to put out more books, and so that's fun for me. I hope you guys, or if you guys ever get a chance to do it, you can find out that it's a different way of selling. It's not online, it's in person. But if you're going to go bulk and you're going to have a lot of duds, either you're just going to, you're going to sell them in lots on eBay or get rid of them somehow. A lot of them, they're just, there's a lot of money to be made there. But I know it's not for everybody because it's a lot of extra work. Brian, those are neatly organized. When Brian says let's put it up. When you have a sale to the public, do they tend to put some back in the wrong spots? I would say most people don't, but it does happen. It happens sometimes, What happens more often is people will put them incorrectly. Like I had them organized. I mean, I had them. Let's say the Blu-rays alphabetically, whatever it is. I have mostly have them alphabetically. They'll put them incorrectly. They'll shove them back wherever. Or they'll put them the wrong way. That type of thing. People usually don't take like a Blu-ray and then put it with the DVDs or mix the video games with something else. It does happen, but not that often. I found that it's probably because I haven't had a ton of people come through for one sale. My last, or actually my second to last sale was the most that people that I had had. This is 2 days, so this is a Friday from 8 to 2 and a Saturday from 8 to 2, although I do stay open a little later because people will start trickling in at the end because I put signs out so they will see them on the street, the signs. Um, and so I haven't had like a flood of people. I'm sure if I get 100, 150, 200 people to come through, I will have a bigger mess to deal with because there's just more people. I'm sure that will happen. But no, people that I've had come through have not been, maniacs. I mean, as you guys know, when you go to uh, a library book sale, a lot of people can be really disrespectful to not only other sellers and other resellers, but just whoever's there, and they're just making a mess a lot of times. So thankfully that has not happened yet, although I'm sure it will at some point. Um, yeah, Brian said a friend of mine bought a box of 8 tracks for $3 at the flea market a few years ago as a joke, but maybe he could have made some money off of them. Yeah, maybe. It depends on what they are. Not every title is going to be worth money, but if you can put them together as a lot, then maybe you can make a little bit of money off of them, especially if it's classic rock type stuff. That will do much better. I don't know. Maybe country will do well. I don't know what else. Other types of genres. I don't know. I've seen some classical stuff, but I guess it just depends on what the genre is, and as to um, what do you call it? What's going to sell well with that type of thing. So, so yeah. So that's how I spent yesterday, and I'm going to continue. Once I get through, or once I'm done with sorting the DVDs, then that enables me to kind of move on to putting more CDs out, putting more books out. So it'll be fun. I also love to have things organized, so it feels really great to do that. So anyway, so let's see, guys. We have a few people watching. Feel free to join the chat. Whoops. Feel free to join the chat. Feel free to participate. Okay. So, other thing I wanted to talk about was oh right. I sold. Let's see. I sold 3 items, merchant fulfilled. Was it yesterday? Which so it just and as I was going through them, I saw that one of them was from a thrift store I had gone to in March, the last thrift store that I visited before the quarantine. And I bought some other items for FBA, but I didn't have a chance to, I didn't have a lot of time to spend there, so I wasn't able to buy that much. I wasn't able to actually finish going through all the books, scanning and whatnot. So I wasn't able to get a lot, but I did walk away with half a dozen or more books. But I bought 3 there for cumulative was like just under $3 for the three books, and I listed them on Merchant Fulfilled, and they've all sold. That third one was the last one that sold, and it just popped into my head that because a lot of people will focus on FBA if they're a book reseller on Amazon, and they won't try out Merchant Fulfilled, or they don't think that it's something that will actually work. But when you're out of the thrift stores, you can find stuff that for your normal prices, right? And you can resell it. If it doesn't make sense FBA, you can resell it Merchant Fulfilled. And all 3 of those sold since March. Let's see, the cumulative sales for all 3 was around $30, and I only spent less than $3, so 10 times my money in terms of gross sales. And that's just an example of how you can utilize the Merchant Fulfilled selling as well to flip books and other items too. Sometimes you do have to wait a little longer to sell things, but don't count out merchant fulfilled as you are out there, excuse me, as you're out there sourcing, because that can be a really great way to make some extra money to diversify, even if you're just doing books or whatever items your media you're reselling. So that just that was a pleasant surprise, because often what happens when I do list stuff merchant fulfilled is I just think in the back of my head, well, who knows when this will sell, but eventually it'll probably sell. And I keep a spreadsheet where I put everything that I list merchant fulfilled. And then as it sells, I highlight it to just see what's sold and what hasn't. And often I'll list 10 items from a source, and then for merchant fulfilled, and then it'll take months for me to start selling some of that. And then I'll look at it 6 months later, and oh, look, of the 10, I've already sold 4 or 5, maybe more. And it's slow, but then uh, it's not the same as FBA. FBA you can tend to sell your stuff a lot quicker than merchant fulfilled, always depending on what the item is. But always keep that in mind, that merchant fulfilled is definitely a great way to go. You don't have to always do FBA. I understand some people don't want to do merchant fulfilled, but you can have a small inventory and still make some extra money that way by diversifying into merchant fulfilled. That's for sure. So keep that in mind as you're going, as we get back to normal, slowly but surely, and we can start heading back to estate sales and thrift stores and everywhere else that you might plan on sourcing where you can't currently go. Um, so that was nice to have a few. It's always nice to have those merchant fulfilled sales come in on top of the eBay sales. eBay has been doing really well for me. I've been listing a lot more on there, so I'm selling a lot more individual items. But when the merchant fulfilled comes in, it's always a nice little icing on the cake. Especially, I've been slowly selling off those books. I've sold, I think, 5 or 6 of them, of the books that I got for free from that tutoring center, where I picked up a bunch of like school related textbook tutoring, stuff for kids, basically of different grades. And so those have slowly been selling merchant fulfilled. I sent a bunch of them in for FBA, and I've sold a lot of those as well. But merchant fulfills are always nice. It's always nice extra income to come in. And if you have the space, I do recommend it. Just need to buy. You have a bookshelf, but you need to buy, some padded envelopes. Have a printer, have tape, and which, if you're doing FBA, you should have anyway. And you just have to go to the post office and drop that stuff off when it sells. So it's not that big of an extra hassle, really, unless you're going to get into hundreds and hundreds of items. Then, of course, you're going to have the space and the time to ship that stuff. But keep that in mind. So I've been talking about the Facebook ads that I've started running last Friday. So what is it, Wednesday? So we're almost a week here. In a couple days, it'll be a week since I started running that Facebook ad. Talked about in an earlier video about how to try to get free books, especially during this quarantine time, when a lot of people that would normally be donating, just cumulatively, normally every day, there would be lots of people donating books to thrift stores across the country, in your region, your area. I know here there's a lot of thrift stores where I live in Southern California, a little bit east of LA, and here there's just tons of, for 10-mile radius of where I live, there's probably a dozen or more thrift stores. So imagine the quantity of books that get donated. So now that people are not able to donate, they're stockpiling them or just keeping them in their house or wherever they may have them, in their garage, in their storage unit. And they need a place to donate. So you could advertise for free, of course, or you could do some paid advertising to try to directly get in front of people that are that would be potentially donating books and trying to get rid of them. So I started posting an ad with a $7 a day budget on Facebook. I shot a brief, short video, 35-second video, and uploaded it and started the ad. And since then, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've had 8 responses, And on Monday, so 2 days ago, I actually picked up my first donation, and it was probably around 100 or so books, used books, from a guy nearby from where I live. His roommate friend had passed away. He was a professor, and he had a large collection of Native American or American Indian books. And so when I heard that, I said, "Oh, well, that could be interesting, right? That could be worth some money because it's a niche. I mean, it's potentially a big niche because there's a lot of different uh, tribes, and there's a lot of different books about different aspects of Native American culture and that type of thing. So, but it was three, a big box and then a couple of smaller bins full. So I was happy to pick those up. And that was the first one. So the rest of the messages I've gotten have all been, "Oh, I'm so glad to find you, but I'm not ready yet to donate. So I'm gonna, keep plugging forward with the ad and see after a few weeks what happens." But this one was good. The guy was really nice. He was actually really happy that I went to pick up the books. And this seems to be the general consensus of people that actually see the ad and actually message me, is that they're happy, excited, surprised to find somebody that they can um, donate their books to, because there's nothing open right now. And people also, even when things do reopen, even before the quarantine, um, some people don't donate all the time, or they don't know where to donate, or they're not sure. Oh, should I donate to this place or this place? And they find somebody and say, "Oh, look, you live nearby, you sell books. It's an ideal situation, so I can donate books to you, and you will know what to do with them, basically, and you can get them off of my hands." And people that are readers and love their books, but they don't have the space, but they like the idea that they'll actually get into somebody else's hands, and somebody else will actually start reading them. Um, oh, South London is here. Hey, how you doing? From London. Uh, and we have a few people watching. So if you're new, feel free to say hello or chat or ask a question about what we're talking about. No problem. That's what this is about: community coming together, talking about reselling, trying to have some fun, but also trying to learn something. So anyway, people are like, okay, sorry, I got another message, but people are thankful that I'm going to take the books off their hands. They're thanking me. And this guy was a perfect example where his friend had passed away, and he had a lot of books, and apparently some people had already taken some of them. Like he said that a woman from his church had taken some, but there was still a lot left. So he had literally, this is what he told me after I was taking the last bin and was going to go to the car and leave. He said, "I don't know if you're religious, but I prayed." He literally said, "I prayed that somebody would take these books off my hands," because he felt sort of, he did, he promised his friend that he would. It's kind of crazy, right? He promised his friend, who ended up dying, that he would make sure that these books would not be thrown away. They would go to somewhere that they would actually be used. And so he was praying that somebody would come along, and then soon after that, I don't know if it was minutes, hours, a day, or whatever, he saw my ad pop up on Facebook, and he couldn't believe it. And so that's what, he contacted me. So he was super thankful about it. So that was a cool little side story uh, about this donation. That's clearly not going to happen all the time, but people in general will be. It's funny, people get kind of excited about, "Oh, I'm going to donate these books because books are awesome, and books spread knowledge, and these books I read are great, and I want other people to enjoy them, and so I'm giving you the books, and then someone else will enjoy them," spreading the word and the love and the learning and all that stuff. So it's kind of like a positive vibes scenario. So whether if you don't have the money, or don't want to, shoot a video, and you don't have to do a video, you can do text, or you can do an image anyway, a graphic or a GIF or a meme or something. But if you don't want to do an ad, a paid ad, you can always do some for free, throw them up on various sites, Facebook, Craigslist, the local apps, that type of stuff, next door. But if you're going to do paid ads, with the video, it's a way to introduce yourself and engage with somebody, and potentially get some donations. Yeah. Um, Brian says that's a good point. Even if things go back to normal tomorrow, a lot of people don't want to carry all of those books beyond their porch to a thrift store. Yes, so that's true, right? There's the physical aspect of people actually having to carry the books, put them in their car, then drive and drop them off. And some people have a lot of books. Some people only donate 20 books, 30 books. Some people might have, like this guy had over I don't know if it's probably 100 because there's a lot of paperbacks. Definitely probably over 100 books. And to me, it's not that much because I'm used to getting Gaylords and buying in bulk and seeing lots and lots of books. And even the bigger box, it's heavy, but it's not that heavy to me anyway. But to him, maybe it's too much to hassle to deal with. So that's one aspect, is having to actually go down there and deal with that. Another one is that even when things are open, when they do open and when they were open before, a lot of, and I heard this locally, that a lot of the thrift stores were not accepting books, because they were getting too many of them, I believe, and they didn't have the space to put them out in the store. And they don't honestly make, most of these thrift stores don't make their money off of books. They make their money off of clothes. And of course, they sell other like types of furniture and that type of stuff. But books, I don't think are big in general. Big money makers for thrift stores. Although there are some thrift stores that I go to, one in particular I can think of two, where they do sell a lot of books and have a lot of books. But still, that pales in comparison to the amount of clothes that they have out. I mean, clothes are the big thing for most of these thrift stores. So anyway, I was hearing, because I had ran an ad a few months back, and someone had said keep running this ad because people are thrift stores are not accepting books, a lot of them, and a lot of places you can normally donate to will not come and pick up your books from you. So if you offer the service of not only taking the books off people's hands, but you will actually pick them up. That's why I say we can message us to set up a pickup, an appointment for a pickup or a drop off. I offer them both options. I have a location you can drop them off if you want to. If you don't mind, or it's better for you, I can come to your place, wherever, your house, your business, your storage unit, whatever it is, and I can take them off your hands myself. You can utilize me as manual labor, and I will put it into my car and load it up, no problem. And so people like that for sure. They think that's a benefit, um, of the service that you potentially can provide. So yeah, so those are all reasons why I recommend that you start trying to get in the middle between people, because you got to think of this as a long-term game. That if you're going to continue to resell books on Amazon, on eBay, whatever it is, that you want to ideally become, a source, right, for people to go to donate their books. You don't have to have a warehouse. You don't have to have an office. You can do it out of your home, but you can just say that you're a bookseller, which you are, and that you're looking to, help people, donate books and get rid of their books and free up space and that type of thing. Um, I've seen other people do it, which is what I put in the ad, where I'm going to donate 20% uh, to an organization, and of the potential profits. So that also will help people, convince people to donate to you. That's always a good idea as well. But anyway, so these were interesting books. I brought two bins home, and I've gone through, I started going through, I actually went through one of the bins which had uh, larger books, hardcover books. Now, I already made a few piles of ones that I could sell, because I was looking, first of all, looking on Amazon, and then looking on eBay for the books individually to see if they're worth money individually. And then once I've done that, what I'll probably do, because a lot of them are not going to be worth money individually, so then I have to make a decision: do I want to try to put them in lots and sell them, um, on eBay in lots, or do I want to maybe put them together in a section in my warehouse sale, on a shelf, be like Native American, and have them all there and see how that goes. It just depends on if I can get enough together for a lot that would be that would make sense, because they are all, Indian tribe and that type of thing, but they have different topics. So here's one encyclopedia of Native American tribes. It's a large picture book. These are ones that were not worth reselling individually on Amazon or eBay. This one was a little newer. This one's in great condition. So encyclopedia, and then this one, Native American design and decoration. This one actually has a barcode, but this has got some cool stuff in there. Let's see. And these were like magazines from back in the 70s. American Indian Art. So far I've only found 2 of them. This is from 1975 and 1976. And one of them, the spine is a little bit roughed up, but this has got some cool stuff. If you're into this type of art and whatnot, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. So that could be something. If I don't have enough of them, I mean, just those 2, maybe I could put on as a lot on eBay, but I'm not sure if that would make sense. This one is, one of those, what do they call them? DK Eyewitness Books. Discover. That's not going to be worth anything. This one looks cool. Living Wisdom, Land of the Thunderbird, Belief in Ritual, etc. So that's a cool one. But again, these are different types of niches within this genre. This is a big one here. Little Bighorn Remembered, the untold Indian story of Custer's last stand. So this is really great condition. And this one's really old. This is Pictorial History of the American Indians. So this is more pictures. But this is black and white, but it's got some cool photos in there. Let's see. This huge one actually normally comes, it's really cool looking though, even though I didn't have the dust cover here, but it's called, American Indian Art. And this is huge. This is probably one that's better to sell locally. And the photos are, it's got beautiful stuff like that in there. So it's just really nice looking. That's something I could probably sell locally. The design and art one are fabulous. Yeah. Yeah, no, they're really nice if you're into these types of books. Nature's Healing Arts, from folk medicine to modern drugs. The George Catlin Book of American Indians. So I'm starting to see some themes here come together. These are actually magazines, but they're hardcover. It's called American Heritage from 1956 and 1958. And so, but I looked these up on eBay, and you probably, what? Now defend yourself, you damn rascal. I don't know. I looked these up on eBay, and it looks like individually they're not really going for that much. I mean, you have to have like a bunch together. And then there's this one, the Old West, which is those Time Life books. And one of them is the Indians, and the other one's the Great Chiefs. Again, those could probably be bundled with some other stuff as a lot. I'm sure that some of this stuff I put together as a lot on eBay. And if they have a similar theme, I'm sure I could do that. Here's the individual large ones that I found so far that I could potentially sell individually. So this one is the Golden Book of Indian Crafts and Lore. So this is for more for kids, and this is actually from 1954. It's actually missing one page though. Uh, there was a nice little note there. And this one doesn't go for that much money on eBay. It's the low. There's a price there's one. Well, there's several being sold, but the lowest price is like around, I think like $11. So it's not a lot of money in that, but that's something I can potentially sell. This one here is an old hardcover. Oops. Studies of California Indians, and this one is there's only one other copy. One other copy on eBay, and this is from 1955. So this one actually, the other copy is listed for $100, but several copies of this have sold for around 40. So what I'm going to do is list it for $49.99 or best offer as a buy it now, and see if someone makes me an offer or buys it for that price. That one potentially could go for decent money. Maybe try Etsy. Seriously, try Etsy. Okay, I've never sold on Etsy. Indians of the Pacific Northwest by Underhill. This one, there's a few copies. I'm going to list it for $13 or best offer. This one, there's only one other copy of this. Panorama of the Tribes of Colombia and Panama. In the last 3 months, this one has not sold. This one's pretty cool. This one is from, did I already say that? 1973. I'm going to list it at $18.99 or best offer. And then there's this one, which is Handbook of North American Indians. It's volume 8 in California, it says. And there's actually a whole, you can get a whole series, but this one individually I'm going to list for $23.99 or best offer, and see if I can get an offer on that one. So far there was one bin that had all the bigger books in there, so those are the ones that I found for individual sale. The rest of them I will see if I can put them into lots, or if it'll make more sense possibly just doing it locally. Here, the other bin had a ton of paperbacks, so like these, and to me these are super cool looking covers. Individually they're not gonna sell for any type of good profit on Amazon or eBay, but I mean these are just cool covers, right? Book of the Hopi, the first, yeah, okay. This was Delight Makers, whoops, a novel of prehistoric Pueblo Indians. I mean, that could be cool, right? This one's got all kinds of, it's got some highlighting in there. Those two I looked up, but I haven't looked up any of the other paperbacks. The Indian Tribes of the United States, Ethnic and Cultural Survival, Buffalo Hearts. So I don't know if this stuff is worth money. I still have to look it up. The Modern Sioux, so Social Systems, the Shasta Indians. See, so they start to break down into, this is about the Sioux, this is about Shasta Indians, this is more general, this is more general. So, if I start finding, if I find 5 books on the Sioux Indian tribe, or the Shasta Indians, what am I doing? Shasta Indians, et cetera, whatever, Navajo, whatever the tribe is, if I can find enough, then maybe, if they're not worth money individually, I can put them together on eBay and see if I can get some decent money for them as a lot. Let's see. Let's just see what I have here. The Inland Whale, 9 stories retold from California Indian legends. So these are stories. So that would go with stories, right? Like this is a novel. This is a novel. These are stories. So that's potentially could go together. Indians of the Oaks, Millicent Lee. Not sure if that's fiction or not. This is like a pamphlet. I don't know. First Through the Canyon. I don't know what that is. This is a. Wow, this guy had a lot. Thunder on the Mountain. This is a novel. Here's another tribe, right? The Spokane Indians. Children of the Sun. So, I don't know if I'll find more. The Cheyennes, Indians of the Great Plains. See, a lot of this stuff just looks really cool, so I don't know. Ohio's Prehistoric Peoples. The Chippewa, it's another one. Seems like he has a book about, as many tribes as possible. The New Hopi. That's the second book on Hopi. The Cheyenne, so another book on the Cheyenne. Although this one, I don't know. Let's look it up. I don't get a sense that this one would be worth money individually just by looking at it, but you never know. 10038582. No. Anyway, I'll not show you, but no good on Amazon. American Buffalo. So anyway, there's a lot of different books in there, and I'm excited to go through them with a fine-tooth comb, as I just started doing that, and see what else I can find. I think it might be a little too much to do it here live, to look them up each individually, so I'm going to hold off and try to look through some of them beforehand. I didn't have a chance to look through all of them, but if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments in the chat. I've never tried Etsy. I've heard that Etsy is that good for older stuff as well? Because I definitely I've never sold on there. I know it started as like crafts, arts and crafts and that type of thing. And I guess it's grown into other stuff. But the idea of selling on another platform, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But anyway. So yeah. Right. That was the other thing I want to talk about is I've been looking on Facebook Marketplace for, just media to resell, but also they show me random stuff when I go on there on my phone. And I've been seeing that there's a lot of people here in my region that have what do you call it? Pallets. They're selling pallets of all different types of merchandise. A lot of it is Amazon returns, I guess even some of them eBay returns, but I've seen electronics, I've seen just general merchandise, tools, makeup, all different types of stuff. And before I had a warehouse, it was a bit of it was a little more difficult to consider buying that stuff because they're selling it by the pallet. And I still don't have I don't own a truck with a lift gate, so I can't go pick up Gaylords and bring them to the warehouse. I have to have them delivered, or I have to rent a truck with a lift gate, which is a whole ordeal. The last time I did it was, it was a lot of work, and the truck ended up being massive, which is fine. I was able to fit the Gaylords, but it was really quite interesting to drive that thing around and then deliver it to myself to my storage unit. But anyway, so I found someone who's selling toys in my area by the pallet, but they have them. You don't have to actually pick them up in a pallet. They have them in smaller boxes. So that's what I asked them. I said, I can't pick up a Gaylord but or a pallet, but can you do you offer them like broken down into smaller boxes? And they said they did. So anyway, I'm gonna go visit them at some point and see, try it out because I figure I have the space, I have the warehouse space. I want to start diversifying more. I'm continuing. I'm going to continue to do media, but it would be nice to get good at selling something else as well. And if I can find a good source, uh, whatever it may be, try to find something where the profits might be a little bit higher, um, to diversify, and uh, and also these items would be new in the box, right? So if I can flip them on eBay and maybe a few on Amazon to try to just diversify and increase sales and see, uh, see if see if I can do a little better with the space that I have. More thinking of selling them online than selling them locally, but you never know. It's always a possibility if I list or if I say that I have new toys as well. And the ones that they showed were like dolls, like Star Wars action figures or dolls for little girls or kids, um, that type of thing. I don't know what other types of toys are in there, but I do know that toys can do really well. I kind of more interested in toys and electronics, than just general merchandise. Like I saw someone had a Home Depot pallet, so it's going to be tools and that type of stuff. But I just need to find something that I don't need to, but I like the idea of finding something that will help me diversify and that can potentially have some nice profit on top of it. And also, if I find multiple SKUs of the same thing, so if I buy a pallet's worth and they say there's 100 items for the pallet, right? For the cost of the pallet. So if I find 10, 20, 30 of the same item and it turns out that it does really well, I can just create a listing and just have it sell, right? And not have to worry about looking for other items. Brian says it would be cool to learn about selling toys. Absolutely. We all know that. I mean, toys sell all year, right? Parents are going to buy toys. Kids are going to buy toys. Um, yeah, I find a lot of used toys, but I don't know. I have no idea if they're valuable except for the stuff I grew up with late in the 80s and early 90s. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. I mean, I do know I have a sense where my kids are and the types of toys they like, but I don't know, what are all the hottest toys and that type of thing. And it's more of like it would be more of me seeing, what this source has. I have to test them out and see if they have good stuff, as in not just like is it in good condition or if it's new, is it new, right? And it works and everything, but that they're items that actually sell, that I can actually turn a profit on, because the pallets vary in price depending on what it is and excuse me, on who it is and what's in the pallet. So I've seen prices from as low as $350 all the way up to like $650 for a pallet. But if you spend $600 on a pallet, you're gonna want to double your money bare minimum. So you have to make sure that the items are gonna do well, right? And that's why I'm figuring toys potentially can sell for good money, of course, depending on what they are. Electronics, of course, can sell for more money, and having them new in the box is good to get more money for them, basically. So yeah, I'm gonna try that out. I always do this to myself where I have stuff to do, right? Like I still have records to go through. I still have some books to go through. And then I get toys on top of that. But I think it's a good thing to diversify and to keep yourself busy. And toys, as an example, if this goes well, if it doesn't, oh well. But they are in Pomona, number one. Pomona. That's where my warehouse is here in Southern California. They are in the same city, so it's nearby. I don't have to pick up a Gaylord or a pallet or have it delivered. So it's free for me just to go and get it myself, pack my car with the boxes, uh, and then try it out. And they're super close. So if it works out, then it would be great to have somebody to actually be able to buy from consistently. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys know if that works out or not. But the idea is fun, of selling different items and potentially increasing the profits because of that. So we're to 8:02, guys. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. Today we talked about, I shared with you organizing DVDs in my warehouse. I talked about selling on Merchant Fulfilled, not just FBA. When you're reselling, that's a good opportunity as well. And then I talked about the book donations I got. As I go through these, I will share with you if I find some gems in here, individual gems, and how I'm dealing with selling them. If I'm going to sell them as lots, or if I'm going to put them up locally and just have a Native American section, because where I live, I figure there's probably going to be some interest in that type of thing, and I can advertise as well, saying, "Oh, have large, or have a good sized collection of Native American books for sale. Come and check them out, for my next sale," that type of thing as well, and see how that goes. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but come with your questions or something you want to talk about as well. We're glad to answer that. Talk about it.
Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live. Gonna strive, we're here to learn and gonna earn. Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Flippin' Live. We're a live daily show during quarantine for resellers or other people that want to learn about reselling. And we talk about reselling and try to have, a little fun and learn something along the way and something to look forward to. I know a lot of us are not able to get out there and source, or not able to just get out in the world. So kind of stuck at home a lot of the time, and it's fun to get together and talk about this stuff. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned something, please do give it a thumbs up. That does help with the video to get more people to see it and learn about the show. If you like the show, spread the word. And if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe, so it'll let you know every time that I'm going to go live or post a new video. And as always, guys, keep booking and stay inside. For the most part, stay away from people. Put a mask on, stay safe. And where is it? And make sure and always wash your hands. Don't forget to wash your hands, just like the Legos, okay? So stay safe, guys. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.